But the playoff race is heating up for the Oilers, and thankfully, they finally got a little bit of help on the out-of-town scoreboard. Not a lot of help. The Lightning had to pull off a late comeback. It looked like maybe they were going to beat the Golden Knights and spoil that evening for Vegas, but Vegas came out with an overtime victory. Dallas put up 10 on the Buffalo Sabres. That was absolutely wild. Eric Comrie stayed in for
Yeah.
all 10 goals as well, but the Ottawa Senators beat the Seattle Kraken. A big game. Granted, they almost blew it. They were up 3-0 early in that hockey game, and then at one point trailed in the game 4-3, but the Senators finished the job, and now the Oilers are tied with the Seattle Kraken, 80 points apiece. The Kraken do have one game in hand, but, and we've talked about this, this is important, and you're going to want to know this if you're a fan of the Oilers, the number one tiebreaker is regulation wins. The Oilers own that tiebreaker over Seattle, LA, and Vegas, and it's not close. Edmonton has 34 regulation wins. Seattle has 30, LA has 28, Vegas has 28. All the Oilers need to do is be in a tie with those teams, and they will finish ahead of them in the standings. So they're tied with Seattle. I mentioned the game in hand, but that tiebreaker also works in the Oilers' favor a little bit. Edmonton 6-3-1 in their last 10. Seattle 6-4 in their last 10. LA 7-2-1. They've won 5 in a row. They are red hot right now. And Vegas is 6-2-2. At least the Oilers got a bit of help on the out-of-town scoreboard, Liam. But it's this race, like, we're going to be pulling up that standings board every single show from now until whatever, April 12th when the season ends. I have a feeling there's only going to be, like, by the end of this thing, 4 points separating first from fourth in this division. I don't think anyone's going to, like, wildly pull away, is my point.
Yeah, I completely agree, Tyler. And I think for the Oilers, it's just going to come down to those divisional games, right? You just gotta come out on the better side of when you play Vegas. I think they play Vegas twice, LA twice, and Seattle one more time, and then a couple of games against the other teams in the division too. But those are the more important ones. And as long as you can kind of keep pace, like I understand it's frustrating when Vegas wins every time the Oilers win, but as long as you keep winning and then you manage to get a victory over Vegas as well, you have the three. You'll have a series lead over them on head to head this season. So, yeah, I'm confident the Oilers can get it done. I think that top two is somewhere. I think we predicted a couple of weeks ago they could finish, and I still believe in that spot for them too. I mean, Vegas had Jonathan Quicken goal last night, and the goals he were allowing weren't fantastic against Tampa Bay. They just kind of outscored their problems. So I think the Oilers should be able to surpass both those teams. And it was funny too. I was looking at the standings like, oh, the Oilers were pretty close to the top of the Western Conference the other week. I wonder where they are. And I looked and I saw, oh, they're in sixth. And then you look and they're only 2 wins off the top. So it's the Western Conference is, I know it's not as stacked as maybe the East, but it's very competitive. And the Oilers are in a really good spot for where they want to be, I think.
Oilers also moved into second place in the NHL in regulation wins. Like, when they win, they win. And it's wild to think
Yeah.
they're second in regulation wins in the league at 34, and they're 12th in the league in points. It's one of those things. And I know they have racked up quite a few OT losses as well. They just haven't relied on overtime victories and shootout victories the way some other teams have. But hey, 2 points is 2 points. As we head into the weekend, because tonight there's nothing going on in the NHL. I guess Anaheim's playing Calgary, so we're kind of rooting for the Ducks in that one. But let's be real. Even if the Flames win, this is their game in hand. They're still 7 points back of the Oilers, and Edmonton has that Winnipeg buffer in there as well. So it's nothing overly concerning. Tomorrow, I should say, the out of town scoreboard is a little bit more interesting. Vegas is in Carolina. Tough game. Winnipeg's in Florida. Also a bit of a tough matchup there. Dallas and Seattle go head to head. So as long as that one doesn't go to overtime and the Oilers take care of business, they could be gaining points on one of those two teams. And LA is hosting Nashville. So same thing there. There's a bit of a head to head. If they don't go to overtime, you're going to be happy with the result one way or the other in those games. You're probably rooting for Dallas, though, to beat Seattle so you can try to jump ahead of them and get out of a wild card spot as soon as tomorrow night. So it'll be a fun Saturday around the NHL. I mean, get the second screens ready and get ready to just be absolutely dialed in to hockey for the entire night.